What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. It's our third episode of the week, our second one with Jerry, and on this one we're gonna be doing a little Super Bowl preview. As Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs face off against the Philadelphia Eagles at 6:30 p.m. in New Orleans for a chance to be Super Bowl champions, and Kansas City has a chance to be the first team to do a three-peat in NFL history. But yeah, Jerry, man, welcome back to the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me on, bro.
Nah, for sure, man. But yeah, guys, so we're gonna, we're each gonna kind of give our thoughts on the game. We're gonna kind of end the episode, giving, who our winner, our Super Bowl MVP, and then we might do some, random individual predictions that we have. But before we get into that, yeah, Jerry. So if you want, you can start off here, man. Like, what are you most intrigued by in this game, like in terms of like matchups? You know what I'm saying?
In terms of matchups, I'm really intrigued with the Philly defense going up against the Kansas City offense. Um, I don't know, when I was doing my notes for this game, I knew Philly's defense was really good, but then I started looking down the line of like their players. I was like, oh, that guy's nasty. That guy's really good. Wow, I forgot they had that guy. It's like, okay, they're really good. And then obviously, on the other side of the ball, you have arguably the greatest quarterback of all time just sitting right there. So it's gonna be a good matchup. And obviously, uh you got Kelsey, you also got, McCole Hardman.
Kelsey, man.
Yee, bro. And then you got the one of the best play callers in NFL history. You have a team that's been there, done that. They've won a Super Bowl. They've they've been down double digits in every Super Bowl they've played in, and they've come out on top almost every time. So it's gonna be two big juggernauts going at each other. So it's gonna be really exciting.
Nah, for sure, man. I'm most, I'm the type of guy. I might be like old school sometimes with sports, but a lot of the times I'm mostly looking at coaching, and I'm super excited, honestly, to see Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, probably one of the best defensive coordinators of all time. I think he shows it. He proves it year in and year out. I can't wait to see what he has like schemed up to try to stop Saquon Barkley and to make Philadelphia beat them with the passing game. Because really, and it's nothing against Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. He's a winner. He plays the game the right way. I really like him. But at the end of the day, this season for Philadelphia, their main thing on offense has gotten them going and being here in the Super Bowl is their running game. And so I'm super excited to see what Spagnuolo has like cooked up, man. I'm always excited to see his schemes, and then to stick with coaching, like obviously Andy Reid, something that to me, obviously he's one of the greatest, right, head coaches of all time, one of the best, arguably the best play caller, right, of all time. Yeah, you can make an argument for him, but something that I think separates him from a lot of coaches, a lot of times that people don't really talk about. I feel like he's one of those guys that he saves a lot of his like ideas and stuff for the playoffs. Like, let's say like he'll kind of wait to put something out there to a playoff game or the Super Bowl rather than having it be exposed during the regular season. Like, I think if you use it too early in the year, at the end of the day, a couple games later, teams are gonna pick up on what you're doing. So I'm super intrigued by that, honestly. See what Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo have cooked up. But like you said too, obviously the Eagles, hell of a defense. They bring in Vic Fangio from the Dolphins. He did a great job with the Dolphins last year. And then you look at the roster he has with him this year, it's, like way better, the defense. And look what he's done. He's turned them into, arguably the best defense in the league ever since I want to say week 6 or week 7. And but then also, Kansas City's defense. I already mentioned Spagnuolo. He always does an incredible job, right, of putting his guys in the right position. So that's another battle, like Spagnuolo against Fangio, man. Those are arguably the two best like defensive play callers in the NFL. And yes, I'm always like excited, honestly, to see what Spagnuolo and Andy Reid have cooked up, bro. They like the football fan in me just like gets. I feel like a little kid watching those guys like coach.
Yeah, bro, I agree. I think you're gonna have two high powered defense, or you're gonna have two high powered deep offenses go up against like two unstoppable, or uh, or two brick wall defenses that are just like amazing. I'm gonna start off with the Kansas City defense. Obviously, you have Chris Jones, you got McDuffie, you got Karlaftis, you have Nick Bolton. You have a really good defense. You got you have really good like talents, and then obviously you have like one of the best play callers on defense. Three-time Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs, and then one with the Giants. Also has a head coaching experience, so he knows how he's probably gonna understand like um, how Nick Sirianni is gonna think in terms of like play calling, what he wants to do in like certain situations. Um, you know, he I think he adjusted a lot in the Buffalo game where I don't think they usually called blitzes. I think they called a lot more blitzes in that game than they normally do.
Yes.
He's gonna have something cooked up for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Although I do expect them to have good games as well. Um, I, I really expect that Kansas City defense, who has been good for these last 2 maybe 3 years,
Yeah.
to really like step up and just become and to really like stop a lot of what Philly's gonna do. Uh, Now as for Philly's defense, I like I mentioned earlier. I mean, you have a long list of guys that are amazing. You have Vic Fangio, one of the best defensive play callers in the league. I mean, just to mention a couple of guys. You got C.J. Gardner Johnson, Blankenship, uh, Darius Slay, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Uh, that secondary is no joke. They really held Jaden Daniels down a lot. They forced Jordan Love into 3 interceptions. I think against Matthew Stafford, they held him pretty well. And then obviously you got the front seven.
Yeah,
You got
Jalen
guys
Carter in
like
the middle right there.
what?
Jalen Carter, yeah, in the front
Yeah,
right
you
there.
got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. You know, you have a who else did I write down? I think there
Now,
was someone else that I could. I think N'Kobe Dean. I
and
mean, you
someone
have
that mentioned really quickly that he's it's kind of been shocking, but he's been one of the best players in the league this year. Zach Bond, the linebacker there,
Snipe,
like
bro. I
formerly of
completely
the Saints,
forgot
but
about.
he was like in contention literally for defense player of the year, and I think it shocked people, because he's always been solid, but he's never been at this level. So I just wanted to give him his flowers there because he's been so impressive this year. So
Yeah, bro. And then like, yeah, no, you have all those guys. So it's like, and you have Vic Fangio coaching them. I find it really hard for anyone to really score on them. These last couple of games, I think Washington had I don't know what game it was. I think it was the Washington game where where this defense forced like 3 fumbles.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then against the Rams, I think they also forced another 2 fumbles.
yeah,
They were just like they were giving these quarterbacks and these offenses like a really tough time, and it's like, and I've been really impressed with them. I expected I kind of had these two teams in the Super Bowl. I had them beating different teams in the and the conference championship, but these guys have both of these defenses have really impressed me a lot, and these defenses are really they're just defenses that I find hard to really bet against. As for the offense, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, you know, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. You have Kelsey. He's in the later part of his career. He's not as good as he once was, but still the experience is gonna take you very far. You got rookie sensation Xavier Worthy. You have Hollywood Brown, who's still a solid contributor. Juju Smith. Uh, I thought McCole Hardman was going to be ready for this game, but he
he's not
wasn't going to be available but he's not going to be available for this
okay,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but uh, but still, you have DeAndre Hopkins. I completely forgot to mention him.
yeah.
You're gonna have a really like solid receiving core. Although they're not like the big superstars that they used to be. They're still experienced players in big moments, and I think they're going to be able to contribute well with in combination with Patrick Mahomes being the QB and Andy Reid being the guy that's calling the plays. You know, you still got Kareem Hunt, you got Pacheco in the running game. That's going to be that's going to be a headache for the defense
Yeah,
from Philly to stop. You know, you have a squad offensively. I was predicting maybe actually no, I'll save that last part
all
for
right.
some other time. But I do think Mahomes is going to have a big game. Uh, you know, but I think I mentioned earlier that this team has never been in a super or this specific Kansas City team has never been well since Mahomes and Reid and Kelsey. They have never had they have never been in a Super Bowl where they weren't down double digits and they have three rings or three out of the four super. They've won three out of four Super Bowls.
Yeah,
So that their experience plays a big factor. Mahomes' leadership plays a big factor, and just like and just the whole IQ of the team just is just a huge factor on that team. Philly, I think they look they look really loaded on offense as well. I had you have Jalen Hurts, you have Saquon, arguably the MVP of the league. You have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You have a loaded offense. You know their offensive line, which is like the biggest, which is going to be like one of the biggest X factors in the Super Bowl, is disgusting. It's I would probably call it one of the best offensive lines in the league. You know, you got Jordan Mailata, you got Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Mekhi Becton. You have a bunch of like big, like physical offensive linemen. And I looked up just to make sure because like I wasn't sure if Landon Dickerson was gonna be available, but he will be. He will be playing hurt though, but I think most of these guys are going to be playing hurt anyways. Um, you know, I- I find it really difficult for me to find a winner in this game. Do you want me to give my prediction now or
but not yet. Let me like cover some points there.
got you?
But yeah, to cover quickly, so the offensive line, right? Like you said, it could be a big X factor. But yeah, a big thing to watch though for me in this game is the help. Like you said, Dickerson's gonna play hurt. Cam Jurgens, their center, he's hurt. Like last game, Cam Jurgens didn't start, but he had to come into the game injured because the guy that had at center. I think wasn't it Dickerson? Yeah, it was playing.
Yeah.
He had to come out, and then Jurgens, who was hurt, he had to come in. So that's gonna be a big thing I'm looking at because I feel like the Chiefs' defensive line right now is a lot more healthy. And like as good as the Eagles' O line is, right? I just think the Chief like health a lot of times in all sports, right? When we get to a championship game, it comes down to health a lot of times in sports. So I'm really looking at that. Like I'm super intrigued by that to see too if like Spagnuolo also has like ways to kind of take advantage, right? Of like the health of Philadelphia. I'm like interested in that. And something great that you brought up, you mentioned Spagnuolo, right, against Buffalo, how he blitzed a lot more than he typically does. I think too we saw moments in that game for the first time all year that Josh Allen, there was a couple throws that took us back in time, during the first couple of years of his career where he kind of just like chucked the ball up. There was two instances that in the beginning of the game, in the first drive, uh, there should have been two interceptions there that Josh Allen threw, but the Chiefs just came up short, didn't catch the ball. But that was something that Spagnuolo did there that I feel like he had in his pocket. And a lot of times Spagnuolo just knows how to match up against whoever he's going against. You know what I'm saying? So I know I keep going back to Spagnuolo. I just love the guy. I'm always like super excited to see what he does. And no, yeah, and to talk about the Chiefs, right, or the offenses, I haven't talked about them. So yeah, Kansas City, obviously, like you've said, Mahomes, arguably the goat. He's just incredible. There's no other person I'd rather have the ball, right, in any given situation than Patrick Mahomes in the whole NFL, maybe even all time. And like you said, Travis Kelsey, yes, he's towards the end, but like now, the first game in the playoffs, right, against Houston, he had his best game of the year. But then look, this past game with Buffalo, he only had two catches. So, Kansas City is showing that they're still versatile. And I think the main reason for that on offense is Andy Reid. I think he just knows how to put each guy in the best possible position, right, to succeed. You mentioned Hollywood Brown. He missed the whole year. His first game was that Houston playoff game. And this past game, right, with Buffalo, he had the first two catches of the game for Kansas City, which was super unexpected. But they went straight to him. Juju Smith, he hadn't done much the whole year against Buffalo. He contributed. Uh, DeAndre Hopkins is the guy I'm looking at specifically um, in a situation in the red zone. Let's say it's a third and goal. I can see I don't know. I see scenarios. You need like a 50-50 type of throw. You throw it up to D Hop. He's going for his first Super Bowl. He's towards the end of his career. And another guy I want to mention. This might sound super random to people, and I understand. Justin Watson. He a receiver on the Chiefs, number 84. He's been there his whole career. To me, he's super underrated. He's not a star like whatsoever, but he's a guy. A lot of times over the last couple of years in the playoffs, he'll randomly have these like big games for the Chiefs, and for some reason, I'm just feeling that Justin Watson, he's gonna have a huge game. Cause I feel a lot of the time he goes under the radar, and now they have even more talent in that group than they did last year. So defenses are more focused out on Worthy, on Hollywood Brown, on Smith Schuster, on Hopkins. Then you're gonna kind of have Watson there, and another guy I want people to keep their eye on. Like you mentioned, Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, right? Two amazing running backs. I love both of their styles, right? They're that ground and pound. It's hard to bring them down. But another guy there is Samaje Perine. He's a good veteran back that they have, and specifically as a pass catcher. I'm like super intrigued to see how. I feel like Andy Reid. I don't know. He's gonna have. I just got goosebumps, but I think there's gonna be two or three plays that I think he's gonna specifically design for Perine in the passing game. And you go back to last game, they had that 3rd and 9 right towards the end of the game. They didn't run the ball. They did a little play action. Everyone went to the right side, and then P. Ryan was open to the left, and then that led them to taking a couple knees and winning the game. So I freaking love Andy Reid and Spagnuolo. I think everything for me goes back to them. But then talk about Philly, like you said, they have a loaded obviously offense. You already said their offensive line is freaking elite. Like I said, the one downfall is the health right now, or not downfall, but the one question mark. But yeah, then you mentioned Brown and Smith. They're great receivers, obviously. But yeah, I'm super intrigued. Like I said in the beginning, I think Philly, this has to be, in order for them to win the game, in my opinion, it has to be their best passing game of the season. I do think, Saquon will get his moments here and there. But I don't think people can expect him to be as dominant as he's been when you're going up against Steve Spagnuolo in the Super Bowl. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
makes
those are
sense.
just a couple points I wanted to cover. You feel me? But I'm freaking excited, man. I like honestly, I can't wait. I think these are the top two teams in the league this year.
I agree.
Like
I wanted to see Detroit in the Super Bowl, but when I was doing my playoff predictions, I found it really hard to bet against Philly, and I also wanted to see Baltimore and Kansas City in the other AFC in the AFC Championship. I wanted to see Baltimore get further, but I found it hard to bet against Kansas City. So I was like, so okay, this is these are the two teams I had, but I don't know. I find it super hard. I had Kansas City winning it at the beginning, but man, I find it when I look at both of these two teams, I find it so hard to pick any team because like look, I just believe so much in this Philly defense that I feel like if they go from Patrick Mahomes just to Peyton Manning, that Philly would win. But because they have Patrick Mahomes, man, it's tough. It's like
that's a hell of a point. Even that, right? Like you said, Peyton Manning, obviously, one of the all-time greats. But
yeah,
I totally agree with you. Like Mahomes to me, like oh my god, like we've said multiple times, he's arguably the goat. So that point you just brought up is freaking awesome. But
yeah. I don't know. I appreciate it, bro.
no, for sure. But yeah, before we get into like our little predictions, I want to mention one more thing. So, like, you went over your predictions. So my prediction, like, I did an episode, before Wild Card Weekend. I had the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, but against Tampa actually. That was my prediction. So at least I got one side right. But I had actually, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't like throughout the podcast I've mentioned it on you. Like Philly has been proving me wrong. I wasn't a big believer in them. I kind of felt it was gonna be like last year, where I was like, oh, a great regular season, but I just felt like something like some drama or something would happen. Like last year was kind of allegedly like AJ Brown causing drama. This year he did the same thing actually during the regular season. Like as good as a talent he is, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like the biggest fan of AJ Brown. Like how he acts as a teammate or a team player. If that makes sense. I'm not taking away his talent and ability, obviously. But yeah, I just felt there would be some sort of downfall. But hey, Philly's proven me wrong, and they've gotten to this point. They've done a hell of a job. But yeah, man. Yeah. So like I said, I had the Chiefs. Yeah, beating Tampa. But with that said, I want to give like a couple predictions. Like I'm gonna give my winner and my Super Bowl MVP, and then I'll go to you. Okay. So I'm gonna stick with my original pick, right, for that wild card weekend episode. I have the Chiefs winning. I'm sticking with them, and I'm sticking with my Super Bowl MVP, George Karlaftis. My prediction was the Chiefs will win, and that Karlaftis will have 3.5 sacks. I know that might sound crazy to people, but I'm sticking with it. I think Karlaftis is gonna go off. He's already been going off in the playoffs. Honestly, he that guy's a hell of a freaking pass rusher, man. A hell of a talent. Obviously, Chris Jones is there, and he's the anchor of that line. There's no doubt about it. But I feel like a large part into why Karlaftis is so good is because of Chris Jones. Like if he was just the focal point and no Chris Jones there, it wouldn't be the same. I feel like so. Yeah, I'm sticking with Karlaftis and the Chiefs, and I'm gonna give another specific prediction. This might be kind of random, but I have a final score. I have the Chiefs winning 25-22. But yeah, man, now you could take it over with your predictions, bro, for the people.
I'm not gonna lie. I find it so hard to come up with like a final score or even like a winner on this one because like I believe so much in like both of these teams. Like I believe so much like in Patrick Mahomes like as a quarterback, and like I believe in this Chiefs team like as a whole. But like, bro, I also find it so hard to like bet against this Philly team. They're like, bro, they're just loaded everywhere. It's like it almost feels like there's no weakness in that team. It's like star here, star there, star there. Pro bowler here, Pro bowler there. It's just, I find it so hard. Like I think I mentioned earlier, like if they go from Mahomes to Peyton Manning, it's not like I would have Philly winning this one. But if Peyton Manning was on Philly, I would have them winning it. Like it's just, it's tough. It's tough. I'm scared to make a prediction actually.
Right, just go with your gut, right? Nah, and if you don't have, maybe you just like don't have a feeling on it. It's all good too. Whatever you feel.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It will come to like the last play. I feel like it's gonna come to like you said. You said it's gonna be a 3-point game. I think it'll probably be something like that. Like so similar to last Super Bowl. Like last Super Bowl, it came down to the last kick. And
Nah, not laughing. I understand you. Get me? It's like
dude,
I understand you. You made like super like valid points there. Like they're all like freaking great points you made. So I understand
yeah.
why you're like struggling with the pick. You feel me?
No, I get you. Like at first, I had Kansas City. Like for like up until today, I had Kansas City winning it, and I might still go with. I don't know.
Now, if you want to think about it, like I'm gonna mention some quick facts that kind of just think about
Yeah,
it for a couple minutes, okay? So obviously, look, we're not like a gambling podcast, but obviously gambling is legal now in the state of Florida and other states. So I just want to pull up here Hard Rock Bet app right now. Kansas City's favorite in this game by 1 point. But for those of you who are picking Kansas City, I would recommend looking at the Hard Rock Bet app right until kickoff because they originally started off as a 2.5 point favorite. So that's saying that a lot of people are putting money on Philadelphia, at least on the Hard Rock Bet app. So at least me, I'm waiting. Uh, I'm waiting. I can't wait till Kansas City becomes the underdog. I got to put a little money on there. I think last Super Bowl was the same thing actually. I just remember that last year, KC started as the favorite, and then like days leading into the Super Bowl, they became the underdog, and I was like, oh, let's go. Like, you're gonna put Kansas City as the underdog. I gotta put some money. So I just wanted to, for those of you interested, in gambling, and I know a lot of times people like just like to gamble for the Super Bowl only. 'Cause, it's fun. It's fun, and there's a lot of different props, and I even have a prop just just to show you guys. You guys might think I'm crazy, but all the bets I do are with my gut. So I have a prop here for an anytime touchdown for Justin Watson, who I mentioned earlier, right? I put $10 on it only, right? Nothing crazy, and I win $140. So for those of you like I don't put crazy money at all, but for those of you interested, right, in doing any of these props, it's super fun, especially during the Super Bowl. I would recommend getting the Hard Rock Bet app, or if you're in a state where there's no Hard Rock, maybe there's another company. I would recommend really looking at the props and maybe putting in. Let's say you do 4 or 5 different props. You put a little bit of money, anything can happen. So, but yeah, so you have your pick, bro.
I was looking at I was trying to look up for the injury report to see if like there's any like key players that are out. I think the only thing I found was Brandon Graham, who's a
Oh yeah,
very good player too. But
he's been out. Yeah,
okay, I think uh,
I think we won't like. Let's say there's some guys that are like 50-50. I really don't think we'll know till like a couple hours before, so that coaches don't really so like the opposing coaches uh can't game plan. If that makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense.
I
Yeah,
know that.
because like then yeah,
You feel me? Like for whoever's gonna start in place of the missing player. You feel me?
yeah.
So, so
I
yeah.
swear, and this is not tough. Like I would have like if you had asked me this 3 hours ago, I would have said Kansas City.
Okay. They're going
I
with
still
me.
find it hard to bet against them though because
Oh,
of Mahomes.
nah, of course. I tell you, Andy Reid, Mahomes, Spagnuolo, even
I'll
Trav.
go with Kansas City. You know
Let's
what?
go.
I'll go with Kansas City.
All right. So
I,
we're
I think they'll get the three-peat. I think it's just too good for it to like for it not to happen. It's like they're too good. The opportunity is right there.
let's go. So we
I
both.
don't feel as good about it, but I'm gonna still go with it. I'm gonna
All
still
right.
go with it.
Let's go. We both got the Chiefs then, and
I got the Chiefs.
that's a cool element, right, to this game that you mentioned. The potential of seeing NFL history. There's never
Yeah.
been a team to win 3 straight Super Bowls, and to me, like what better team than this? To me, they're the best dynasty. Like as good as obviously New England was incredible, but like I just a lot of what factors into that for me a lot is the cheating. That New England did get caught cheating, recording practices using deflated balls, and I know Andy Reid, Mahomes, none of these guys cheat. They do it the right way. So if they're the first team to accomplish that, man, I'll be super happy.
Yeah.
Because like I always say, from a football fan perspective, like just watching the Chiefs play is like such a joy and a blessing, man. Like they just do everything the right way. Like to me, everything they do is what we all want our favorite team to do. So yeah, I have goosebumps saying that. I promise. Like I really love like the organization and everyone in it, man. I think they just do it the right way, and I'd be super happy, man. And it'd be so cool to see the first three-peat, right, in NFL history.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I like what you said, and I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go
That's
with the Chiefs. I'm gonna
do
go
you,
with the Chiefs.
do you
I
have any
think
like
Philly will make it tough, and I think they'll put it to they'll take it to the end to the last play. But I do think the experience, just not just the talent that Mahomes and Kelsey are. I think they'll make. I think I'll go with them. I'll go with
let's,
them.
let's go, man. Let's get it. But yeah, do you have any? I don't know if you have any prediction for like Super Bowl MVP or any other random prediction you have.
I'll go with Mahomes.
Let's
I
go.
think he'll throw for 245 yards, and I think he'll rush for 50 yards.
Let's go. I love it. I love it, man. But yeah,
Hey,
any other thoughts, man, on this Super Bowl matchup?
um, nah, I think we've said everything we had to say.
I agree, man. Now it was
Yeah,
fun. I hope you guys enjoyed, our Super Bowl preview. Hope you guys enjoy the game. It's gonna be a hell of a game, and I'm a big entertainment fan too. And I've talked about it on here. I've like loved covering Travis and Taylor Swift. It's always like a joy, watching the game and then being able to cover her as well. So make sure to, stay tuned to our Instagram at the flame underscore ES. We'll have a lot of content for you as we always do, some Taylor and Travis stuff. Like, I really love doing it. So I appreciate everyone, who supports us on there, likes, comments, shares it, whatever it may be. I appreciate the love on there. And I couldn't be more excited to cover this game. It's crazy. They started dating right last September. And look, 2 seasons together, like second straight Super Bowl, and I remember the last Super Bowl like it was a couple months ago, So it's just a blessing to be able to be doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys want to share your thoughts on this game with us, make sure to hit us up at the flame underscore ES on Instagram. Thanks again to Jerry, for joining us. It had been 3 years, and look, now he's part of 2 episodes this week, and we're gonna have him back on, for NBA trade deadline recap episode. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But yeah, Jerry, thanks again, bro, for joining this Super Bowl preview, bro.
Nah, thanks for having me on, Rob.
Now, of course, until next time, everyone, take care.